Welcome to a brand new feature we're calling Blue Jackets Drop In. I'm Bob McElligott with Jody, Shelley, and during this NHL pause to the season, we're just going to drop in on some Blue Jackets players in their homes or wherever they may be to find out what they're up to. And our first guest on this show is Blue Jackets defenseman Seth Jones. Seth, what's it like to be number one?
It feels great, guys. Thanks for having me. It feels great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about, in fact, I was asked this in a podcast a couple of days ago. They said, what player, if you had to choose a player to be quarantined with, what player would it be? And after going through a whole lot of options, I decided that I want to be able to eat. And I know somebody that's pretty good in the kitchen, and that's you. So you were my choice. And a lot of it was based upon
thanks,
the
Bob.
cuisine that you bring to the table here.
Yeah, I try to cook during the summer a lot. It obviously gets tough during the season. Some days you're just tired, and some days you just want to order in or whatever the case is. But I'm just fixing to start making some dinner right now. So I just have some. I got a steak here. It's kind of hard to see. I got sweet potato. I got to chop some garlic up. Got some broccolini. So trying to keep it healthy for the most part, since you're not burning as many carbs these days. Just kind of sitting around.
Do you plan your menus out, or do you just, or how far in advance do you plan them out, I guess is the real question.
No, I don't really plan them out. I'll go to the store, in these crazy times, I'm going to the store probably once every 3 or 4 days. And I'll get just like some chicken, I'll get a pork chop, and I'll get a steak. And then or a salmon, whatever the case is. And I'll just cook them, one night at a time. And I'll get 3 kind of veggies. So I may get broccoli, or carrots, what else? Kind of asparagus or Brussels sprouts. So I kind of mix and match and try to do different things, especially right now.
Have you had a hard time finding anything?
To be honest, the food is all there. All the food's there. But really, it's just toilet paper, dishwasher detergent, Clorox wipes. That's really the only things that the shelves are empty. And shampoo and body wash. I couldn't believe that one. I was in there the other day. So I guess everyone's taking a lot of showers these days.
Yeah, there's a lot of spare time in everyone's hands. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And when Bob mentioned that having you on and the cooking, it was just like a home run, because I'll tell you what we've been doing. We have just cable TV, and in the afternoons, Emerald Live is on. Remember him? He's a chef.
Oh, yeah.
Bam! He always goes, bam!
Bam.
Anyways, We've been watching that, and some of the dishes he's been whipping up, it's been inspiring. And it's been activities to cook meals and try to figure out the science behind it. So much respect for you in figuring out these meals. And it's really it's a fun thing to plan, and there's a lot that goes into it to prepare it correctly. So I'm interested to see what you got in mind with this steak and sweet potato here tonight.
Yeah, it's the hardest thing for me is really the timing of it all. I usually sit here and okay, how long is this going to take? How long is sweet potato going to take? Versus, cooking the steak and then you got to let it rest or whatever it is for 5-10 minutes. So then you have a veggie that doesn't take very long to cook. So that's kind of the most challenging thing that I seem to have is trying to get something where, one of the side dishes isn't freezing cold by the time the steak's done or the chicken's done or something like that.
You know what amazes me is the amount of butter and salt that is almost in every dish. And I love it.
Well, that's what makes it good, right? Come on, Jody.
Right.
Butter and salt, baby.
That's how little I knew. So
yeah.
No, but do you have a favorite show that you watch, or do you have a favorite chef that you watch or you look up to?
Not really. I mean, obviously Gordon Ramsay's probably the most famous guy going around. Obviously he's a great cook, but he's got the shows and all of his antics that go along with him with his cooking. But probably him. I've got some inspiration from him, just some of his dishes. He's got a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff that are 3, 4, 5 minutes that aren't very complicated to do. So that's really where I get some of my stuff. But mostly I'm not going over the top with a lot of things. It's definitely more simple food. I'm not putting sauces together and doing crazy things like that.
Is there a dish that you've done that has actually surprised yourself? Wow, this actually turned out way better than I thought it would.
When we first kind of went into this quarantine thing, I made pasta carbonara. Everyone told me it was pretty tough to make, and I did it. Actually, you can't leave. You can't it's not like throwing something in the oven for 20 minutes, setting the timer, and walking away. You use egg yolks, so you got to whisk them and do all that stuff. So that was pretty tough.
That is tough, right? Because you can't let those eggs fry.
I thought I would. Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
There you go, Bob.
Get this inspiration. Is this all from being an athlete and just eating, trying to eat more healthy, or was it before that for you?
Honestly, I don't even know. It just kind of came about. It wasn't really about me being an athlete and trying to eat healthy. It was, I just enjoyed doing it. I thought it was relaxing. You get a glass of wine and you cook and you do, this and that. And so it's been interesting. Been definitely some fails along the way. Actually, believe it or not, I cut my finger chopping an onion the other day. So
Ooh.
Good thing I'm still going to the rink. The trainers took care of me. So we're just plugging along here.
So what do you have? You showed us what you have today. You're going to give us a little example of how you go about preparing that a bit?
Bam.
Yeah. So, the steak, I'll just probably put it in the pan, and I'll get some crust on both sides of the steak, then put it in the oven for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. If you like it medium rare, a little less, medium, a little more. Then that's pretty easy to do. Sweet potato is pretty easy. I usually chop them up into kind of bite-sized pieces. Throw some garlic and thyme and rosemary in there. Put them in the oven, just on some parchment paper, for like 25 minutes, and those usually get pretty good. The broccolini, it depends. Like sometimes I like throwing it on broil in the oven. Sometimes I like blanching it in hot water for like 30 seconds and then putting it in the pan to fry it. Just kind of depends on how many pots and pans I want to clean when I'm done. To be honest.
Where do you get your recipes? You like online? You have cookbooks? You, as Jody said before, with TV. Where do you get your ideas?
I don't know, just some TV, but not really. Like I said, kind of the YouTube videos help a lot. I haven't really evolved into spicing different things other than like salt, pepper, and then I like, say on the broccolini tonight, I'll put some chili flakes on there to make it a little spicy. Like paprika, things like that. Nothing that could ruin a dish though, because I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain that, but I'm not going like crazy outside the box on things that I'm trying to do.
Yeah, isn't it more? It gets to a point where you get confidence too, right? And you're able to figure it out a little bit on your own. For sure.
You start adding things here and there, and kind of depends on your mood. So, like I said, sometimes I may want a little more spicy than other nights, or sometimes I may try to cook things differently than how I cooked them before to see if I like it better or not. We did some, all the guys came over here for Thanksgiving, so that was really the first time that we did that. Everyone was supposed to bring a dish, and that was actually my first time making gravy, believe it or not. And so we did turkey, and so I made the gravy from that. I honestly just winged it. I didn't even look anything up. I kind of had a decent idea how to do it, but it came out pretty good.
And that's something that could ruin a dish. I mean, that's the last thing that goes.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about. It was going down the drain if I didn't think it was good, so nobody else would taste it.
Hey, have you been able to have anyone over? I know we have to practice social distancing. There's some important messages, but have you been able to have any teammates over or buddies over to cook for? Because it's tough to cook for one or two.
Yeah, it is. Kind of when this whole thing first started, before everyone kind of went back home, there were guys come over to cook or whatever, and we all kind of help each other. It's not just me in here and they're sitting playing video games or something like that. But yeah, now that everyone's kind of gone, not really. And really, the only guys that are here have girlfriends or whatever the case is. So I only see a couple of guys, really the hurt guys at the rink. That's the only time I see the other guys. I think Borky Kooks, Texas coming in right now, and me. So
that group is growing smaller. That's good. That's good,
Yeah.
Seth. That was a big group for a long time.
yeah.
Speaking of that, you said, as you said, you are still going to the rink. You're able to do that because you've been injured. Is that kind of a nice thing in a way for you? Because as the rest of us are sitting here, don't know what to do, can't do anything. That's something, a routine that you get to stay in. You get to go over there, you get your treatment, you can still work out.
Yeah, I don't really know how to say it, but I feel not lucky, but because I'm obviously hurt right now. But it is nice being able to go to the rink. It's right across the street for me. Get treatment quickly. Go in there, do a workout. I'm starting to get on the bike now. I think Tuesday was 6 weeks, so we're just over 6 weeks now. I got rid of the boot, got rid of the crutches, all that stuff. So I'm walking normally now. It's getting better day by day. I'm starting to kind of grow on what I can do with it. A lot more balanced things, a lot more trying to do a little explosion off of it. The one thing I've noticed so far just in the past few days is just starting to trust it again, really, compared to the other ones. So hopefully in a couple weeks I'll be skating.
Hey, I want to
Obviously,
ask
there's
you.
no need to rush it right now.
No,
as
and
if
that's
we
a
were still
luxury.
playing. Yeah.
Definite luxury. I want to ask you about your bike ride. You put numbers up on Instagram the other day. What was that? How far did you go? What kind of looked like a pretty good workout?
Oh, that wasn't even about the numbers. No, but obviously Killer or Kevin, our trainer, gives me specific bike rides every day to do. So one time it may be it's all heart rate driven. So sometimes it'll be, you got to stay in between 70 and 80% heart rate. The one the other day was it's like 80 to 88% for 20 minutes.
Ooh.
Sometimes they're, if it's a 70% heart rate day, it'll be like a 40-minute ride or 35-minute ride. So just kind of depends on the day. Obviously I'll keep building up to be, for it to get harder and harder and harder. And then, you couple that with upper body workouts and some lower body stuff that I'm doing.
Which is crazy, right? Because some people think, oh, you dread the hard workouts, but when you're injured, you're actually looking forward to the toughest workout you can find, aren't you?
100%, 100%. And the trainers are probably so sick of me now about, I'm trying to get myself, trying to get them to get me to do more. And so it's a constant battle that we're having between each other. But taking it slow is obviously the best thing for my injury right now. And I think I can feel, after 2 weeks, I kind of felt turn the corner after 4 and after 6. So it seems to kind of be a 2 week in increments that I'm really feeling a major difference in it. Obviously Borky's got the same injury, so he's kind of watching me and seeing what I'm doing, because he's going to be doing it. And 10, 12 days from now, same things.
Now, when you got hurt, you were looking at you trying to get back maybe by late regular season, definitely by the playoffs, and not really knowing what that timeline was going to be like, and watching the team play and looking at the standings, all those things. Now with everything stopped, what is your mindset like now? Because you're getting better, as you just said, and when it all begins again, maybe you're ready to go, and maybe you can just jump right into it. And I mean, again, this is a terrible situation overall, but personally for you, it's like they put the whole league on hold for you until you're ready to go again.
Yeah, honestly. I feel like this year, though, just in general, there were a lot more injuries going around, and that's just what it seemed like to me and to us in the room. Maybe it's just because of what we went through this year with our injuries that I may be skewed a little bit. But I think, like you said, originally, if we were still playing, I would, what's today, the 27th or something, 28th? What is today? I don't even know. Anyways,
Thursday.
I would want to be back, in the next 10 days or something like that, 2 weeks max. And, if I was really trying to rush it, you never know what would have happened, of course. Obviously, this is an injury where I need to let heal and be 100% when I'm back playing. But it is, it's not nice we're in the situation, but I feel like when I'm going to start skating in a couple weeks, I'll be skating before everyone else does, when everyone else comes back and starts skating to get ready. So I kind of feel like they'll have the upper hand there a little bit because no one's able to come to the rink. No one's able to skate or work out or do anything like that. A lot of it's home driven right now, of course, as you see. And I'm sure the guys on the team are doing whatever they can to stay in shape just in case.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It's like, as you said, when you come back from injury, usually you're trying to catch up with everybody else. Everybody else might be trying to catch up with you when it's all said and done.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need it.
How tough has the whole thing been for you? Because you're such a huge part of this team, and the team was playing so well, and you were playing so well at the time that it happened. I mean, oh, by the way, let's not forget that you basically scored a goal on a broken leg. Let's just say it because you did.
It's unbelievable, yeah.
But how tough has it been for you to go through a major injury like this? I know you've been out before, but nothing like this. And how tough was it because things were going so well personally and team-wise?
Yeah, it was definitely tough timing. We were playing some very good hockey, and it was kind of that point in the season where it was that little stretch where, we were winning a lot of games and some teams were losing, and so we found ourselves right in the middle of the playoffs. And then the injury happened. I think I've told somebody this before, but it just felt like something at first where I could just kind of, when you kind of get kind of dinged and you can just keep putting pressure on it or keep walking on it and it goes away. That's what it felt like at first, probably because the adrenaline in my body was going so high. But, when I went back to the room, it wasn't getting better. But yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. And then we went a little bit of a slide. It seemed like after I got hurt, we just kept losing players. I feel like every game we were losing at least a guy out of the lineup. It was just, it's been pretty absurd to see all the injuries we've had this year, man games lost. And but the fact that we really rallied together and know, the guys who are playing have played a certain way to stay within the thick of things.
That's one thing about your group, Seth, is we don't get to see inside the locker room, but we can tell from the outside you're a tight-knit group, and might be things like what you're doing. You have guys over and you cook Thanksgiving dinner. As a leader, you show them there's hobbies to do away from the rink. I find that you have a lot of guys that are unique and have their own. They kind of have their own interests, and you think that helps in bringing the group together and opening eyes to different things in the locker room.
For sure. And I think that the fact that we have older guys and younger guys and guys in between like myself, I think that helps as well. You get a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different, a lot of team meetings and a lot of different opinions on certain things. But I think over the course of, really the core group that's been here since, I've been here the past 4.5 years or whatever it is, that, we found a way to get better. We found a way to come closer as a team. And, that's when you see success really start to happen. We've had some success. We've made the playoffs the past few years, of course. We want to continue that, but we want to keep growing and not only the first and second round, but the third and further on than that.
Yeah, and right now you just want to be in the playoffs as they try to
right
figure
now,
out how this whole thing's gonna. Yeah, you just want to play and then,
practice.
Practice.
Right. Yeah. Get out there and shoot on an empty net. It'll be fine with you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, obviously we're in constant talks with the league about when we're going to play and how it's going to happen and how we're going to do it. And there's so many scenarios that it's hard to it's really a waiting game that we're playing right now. With the world, which for a good cause, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just waiting to kind of see how this goes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because, as you said, there's a whole bunch of theories out there, and eventually those will filter down and start to get a plan at some point in time.
Hopefully, it's not points percentage.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
That would be a dagger.
Hopefully, there's a lot more teams involved. I'm hearing a lot more teams involved. I mean, they're talking about Montreal and Chicago, those big revenue teams, and that's all good for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
100%. It's good for everybody. The more teams we can get playing again.
And it'll be interesting too. I mean, I think you have a chance to do something different. There's kind of an excuse to do something different. And Seth, in all of sports, sometimes they experiment with things and portions of it remain for a long time because they find out it's a good thing. It's all about trying, and maybe this is a chance where you can get some people to open their minds a little bit and try something a little bit different just because of the situation.
100%. And that's the worst thing is going to have to happen. We're really going to have to work with the NHL and everyone in this situation and find a way to make it work where fans want to watch, and so, the most fair way possible. That's a word that's being thrown around a lot. And, of course, like I said, we're in a waiting game with a lot of the local governments, not even the federal, about, how many people can be at events and how long and that sort of thing. So there's a lot more moving parts, I think, than people realize when you're trying to, it's such a big business like ours. A lot of things come into play, financials come into play, fan base and all that sort of thing.
Hey, where's your brother? Did your brother go back home?
He is back home now. Yeah, he left Edmonton, went back to Dallas with my mom, so he's there with her, quarantining. They're quarantining together.
Cool. Well, we obviously know that you'd like to eat, so we've taken up enough of your time. We appreciate it.
I'm not going to skip my dinner for you guys. Sorry.
We
understand
never expect that. We're going to go grab a slice of cold pizza and you enjoy your steak and have a good time. But anyway, no, thanks for taking the time. It's great to hear that you're getting better and you're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. And hopefully, as soon as we can see that for the season resuming, we'll all be back together and looking forward to you playing again.
For sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jody and Bob.
Thanks, Seth.